National Oreo Day is almost here, and I wanted to commemorate that with a special cupcake. So I made delicious Oreo cupcakes. My approach is really simple. I start with a cake mix and tweak from there. This makes it fast and easy to make your own cookies and cream cupcakes. Let me show you how. Now, as I said, I start with a cake mix, a white cake mix specifically, and then add either water or milk. I'm doing milk today, 3 eggs, some canola oil, and of course, some Oreo cookies. I do prefer using the regular Oreos for this. And we start with those Oreos and we're going to crush them up. Now I am going to use my food processor for this step. It really does the best job of making a really nice fine crumb. If you don't have a food processor, you can do this by putting the cookies in a plastic bag and crushing them with a rolling pin. They just probably won't get as perfectly even, but that works okay in a cupcake. But if you have a food processor, I always start by pulsing and then letting it go a little bit longer until you basically have this down to a nice fine crumb. And then I also prep my pans by using paper liners. Then we're ready to start mixing. So you beat up the mix just like you normally would, just a nice big mixing bowl. Use the cake mix, the eggs, the milk, and a little bit of oil. Mix it all together, and then we're going to add the Oreo cookie crumbs. Now, there are 2 ways you can add the crumbs. Your first instinct might be to just, since you have this hand mixer that you've just been using, that you just go ahead and mix them in like this. And I made 2 batches this time so that I can show you that both ways work, basically. The more traditional way is that you just kind of use a spatula and fold in those crumbs. And what you'll see is the batter looks a little bit more speckled versus that first bowl of batter kind of just looked like smooth chocolate cake batter. But either way, you spoon this into your baking cups. I like to fill about 3/4 of the way full. That's a preference, but usually if you fill half to 3/4, you'll get for each batch about 20 to 24 cupcakes. And then we're going to bake these for 18 to 21 minutes at 350 degrees. And when they come out, you can see we have some very lovely cupcakes. Now, as I said, I mixed my Oreo crumbs in 2 different ways. And now I'm going to show you what these cupcakes look like from the 2 different batches. This first one on the left was mixed using the hand mixer, and the one on the right was folded in. And you can actually see right from the beginning how smooth the top of that first cupcake looks versus the one on the right has that more speckled or mottled appearance. And then when you cut into them, it's kind of the same thing. You can see they just look a little different. But the real question is there any difference in taste, right? So of course I have to taste these, and I can tell you at first impression, there's not much of a difference, but maybe I should try a little more, don't you think? A little bit bigger piece. Okay, let's try it again. And honestly, when I compare these side by side, I detect no difference in the taste. They taste exactly the same each way. So like I say, if you care about that specific difference in the appearance, this is something you might want to pay attention to, but other than that, it's really not that big of a deal. Because of course it honestly comes down to the frosting when it comes down to appearance anyway. And so you can frost in with whatever kind you like. You can see I used both a traditional and a chocolate buttercream, and I also frosted some with my favorite Oreo buttercream frosting. And if you'd like to know how I make that frosting, just stay tuned for my next video. But no matter how you frost them, I am sure that you will love them. Enjoy.